Young Thug, aka Jeffrey. I'm from Jonesboro South. Born there, stayed there, still there. I'm 19. I like rapping. I like money too.
Jeffrey Lamar Williams, aka Young Thug, is no ordinary American rapper. He is the pioneer of mumble rap, one of the significant figures in hip-hop, and an artist who released blockbuster mixtapes right, left, and center. But like most of the black rappers, he couldn't escape the tragedy fate held out for him. The challenges struck from all directions, in the form of a difficult childhood with an upbringing shrouded in poverty, his struggles as a newbie in the music industry, and the worst of them all, the numerous non-bailable charges against him in the year 2022 that landed him behind bars for an indefinite time period. Yet he managed to rise above the waves, which is why he will always be remembered for his contribution to the rap industry. Without revealing too much, let's start from the beginning and dive into the nitty-gritty details of Young Thug's life. A stepwise glance at his life will better allow us to infer the exact moment his life turned around and became an absolute mess. Early life. Young Thug was born on August 16, 1991, and was the 10th in line among 11 children. Surrounded by a huge family, it seemed like an impossible task for him to stand out, but he always had the urge to overpower everyone else in some way, to become the best at something. Some might call this quality a bit risky, as it gives rise to the tendency for crime. But this is what coerced Young Thug to strive for excellence. He lived in a suburb of Jonesboro. Living in an underprivileged area and having a big family had him at two disadvantages. One was that the law and order status wasn't up to par, and two, there wasn't much focus on the upbringing of children.
You know, that's crime, it's high crime. A lot of drug dealing, just a lot of, poverty over there.
Unfortunately, the thirst for being different led him down the wrong path. Young also admitted in an interview that he has been in juvenile prison for 4 years on charges of violence. He had broken his teacher's arm back when he was in 6th grade. His teenage years were no better and were tainted with struggles with addiction and heaps of violence. Obviously, a man with such a childhood could be expected to tumble down the same path later on. Rise to stardom. What everyone failed to realize is that no doubt he had a penchant for criminal tendencies, but he also had an unusual quest to build a new life for himself, one away from poverty and other dark things.
He didn't come from, a family that knew how to get him in front of people. Man, these kids were running the streets lost.
So he set off to figure out and polish his skills and talents. We all can guess what he finally landed on: rapping. After acknowledging his inclination towards music, he began working on this side hustle in 2010, not having the least idea that it would soon grow into one of the most promising music careers of the era. He released his first mixtape, I Came From Nothing.
Came for nothing, got it out the gutter. Had to go and get it, tired of bread and butter.
Obviously, his success wasn't overnight, and it wasn't until 2013 that he gained attention for his remarkable talent. The series of mixtapes by the label 1017, Thug finally hit the spot, and he started gaining his well-deserved fame. This was the same reason he got his rap name, Young Thug. Music hits. This was just the tip of the iceberg. He had gained momentum. He was off to a good start. Now he only needed consistency and perseverance, both of which he wasn't short of. In 2014, Young Thug burst onto the scene with hits like Stoner and Danny Glover, making waves with his unique sound. He was featured on tracks like T.I.'s About the Money and Tyga's Hookah, solidifying his place in the rap game. Teaming up with Rich Gang, he dropped the mixtape Rich Gang, Tha Tour PT1, and scored a solo deal with 300 Entertainment. The following years saw him drop critically acclaimed mixtapes like Barter 6 and Slime Season. He kept the momentum going in 2017 by featuring on Camila Cabello's smash hit, Havana, marking his first Billboard Hot 100 #1 single. But Young Thug wasn't done yet. In 2019, his debut album, So Much Fun, debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200, featuring hits like The London and Hot. He continued to dominate the charts with singles like Go Crazy and Franchise, reaching the top spot on the Hot 100 once again. In 2021, he did it for the third time with Way Too Sexy alongside Drake and Future. Not stopping there, he dropped his second studio album, Punk, followed by Business Is Business in 2023, both achieving significant success. Plus, his label YSL Records saw triumph with compilation albums Slime Language and Slime Language 2, the latter snagging the #1 spot on the Billboard 200. Young Thug's journey is a testament to his talent and relentless hustle in the rap game.
His voice was so distinctive. It was like, wow, this is like something that we've never heard before. So it was like a very interesting style of rap that we had never really heard before.
Fashion statement. Young Thug isn't only about music and singing. He has often made headlines for more good reasons than that. His fashion statement, for one, he realized very early on that he not only wanted to go down a different lane, but also found manly fashion quite monotonous and boring. His own touch to overcome this issue and make a fashion statement was a bit risky and gained controversy. But Young Thug is known for not caring. He would often be seen incorporating male and female fashion to come up with outfits like never before.
I am fashion. I don't even think I can get in no deeper. I wake up and breathe this.
Flashing colors and dazzling glitz and glamour are more of Young Thug's style. He still continues to exhibit his A-class. And boy, does he carry it well. Personal life. His fashion sense invited tons of speculation and debate, the primary one revolving around his conflicted The fact that he has such extrinsic taste in fashion and that he has rarely made an appearance with any woman at events implies that he might be homosexual. But Young Thug has always denied it and claimed to be straight. In an interview, he claimed, "So it's like, if people think that I'm gay, they already misjudged. I'm the straightest man in the world. I hate guys." He further added, "Are you talking about, I'm not even having a threesome with no N-word." Young Thug is also rumored to have a girlfriend, Mariah the Scientist. They began dating back in 2021, and it seems that their relationship is just as strong as ever, if not more. Recently, a video surfaced where Young Thug can be seen mouthing, "I love you," during one of his trials. Previously, he was engaged to Jerrica Carly in 2015. Their relationship went on and off for quite a while before the two started to separate for good in December 2020. Young Thug has the image of a family man, considering he has 6 children from 4 different women. He has never seen him parading different women around, but even that has never been able to put a complete stop to his homosexuality rumors. Or maybe he isn't actively trying to achieve that. Why? Because these speculations keep him in the headlines. So he would sneakily claim to not be gay, while also continuing on with his eccentric fashion tastes, kind of in an attempt to keep the people on the edge and the mystery element intact. He has often expressed the absolute delight he feels in people being curious about them. "I like everything that people say, no matter what they say. You a punk. You got a nice girlfriend. You're ugly. You can't rap. You're the hardest." But here is the thing. He isn't as dense as he appears to be. His views about coming out of the closet seem a bit deranged. Recently, Lil Nas X, a fellow rapper, disclosed his and declared that he was indeed gay. That proclamation got mixed reactions from the audience. While some people appreciated his honesty, there was some degree of negative impact it had on Lil Nas's career. And this was what Young Thug warned him about. He also claimed that Lil Nas should have kept this part of his life private. Now it might not be relevant to his own life in any way, but it does imply that Young Thug would make similar choices if it ever came to him opening up about his sexuality. He would simply choose to keep that information to himself, or maybe he already is doing that. Who knows? Trouble in paradise. Young Thug's life took a vicious turn when he got entangled in a legal mess, one that refused to resolve no matter how hard he tried. He was accused of not only being a member, but also the founder of a very dangerous criminal organization.
In Atlanta today, we just learned minutes ago.
And more charges against the rapper Young Thug.
He is one of 28 people named in a massive gang indictment.
The grand jury indictment identified Young Thug, Gunna, and 26 other associates as members of the criminal street gang, YSL, or Young Slime Life. Thug, considered the founder of this alleged street gang, formed YSL in Atlanta in 2012. The prosecution claimed that YSL has affiliations with national gangs like the Bloods, including subsets like Money Murder or 30 Deep. Thug established Young Stoner Life as a record label in 2016 under 300 Entertainment, with artists on its roster dubbed the Slime Family, including Gunna, Lil Duke, Yak Gotti, and Thug's brother, Unfunk. The indictment outlined numerous charges against the defendants, including conspiracy to violate the State Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, RICO, encompassing a range of criminal activities such as attempted armed robbery, drug dealing, and witness intimidation. What do the charges entail? Originally, he was accused of 2 specific counts: conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, RICO, and participation in criminal street gang activity. However, following a search of his home, where he was arrested, a re-indictment in August 2022 added 6 more counts against him. The RICO Act, initially designed to dismantle organized crime groups like the Mafia, enables prosecutors to argue that Young Thug and others committed overt acts, not necessarily discrete crimes, in furtherance of YSL's broader criminal conspiracy. It doesn't necessitate proving that Young Thug knew about or ordered all subsequent crimes, only that he was the head of an enterprise that carried them out. The case centers on the January 10, 2015, killing of Donovan Thomas Jr., known as Nut or Big Nut, in a drive-by shooting. While Young Thug is not charged with Mr. Thomas's murder, prosecutors allege he helped arrange it due to intra-gang disputes and rap business conflicts. He allegedly rented the silver Infiniti Q50 sedan used in the shooting and provided cash and directions to those involved to lay low. Although Young Thug's lawyer claims he was unknowingly pulled into a dispute between Mr. Thomas and another man, Kenneth Copeland or Lil Woody, who is expected to testify against him, the lawyer argues that Young Thug often rented cars for friends. Additionally, Young Thug faces charges related to possession of an illegal machine gun and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. His lawyers argue that the contraband found at his homes did not belong to him, as many people stayed there. If convicted on all charges, Young Thug could potentially face up to 120 years in prison. Other defendants. Among those standing trial alongside Young Thug are Marquavius Huey, known as Qua, DeMonte Kendrick, known as the rapper Yak Gotti, Quamarvius Nichols, Rodalius Ryan, who is already serving a life sentence for a 2019, and Shannon Stillwell, known as SB or Shannon Jackson. All are facing charges of violating the RICO law. Mr. Kendrick and Mr. Stillwell are specifically accused of carrying out the murder of Mr. Thomas in 2015, while Mr. Stillwell and Mr. Nichols face allegations related to another murder, that of Shymel Drinks, in 2022, among other charges. Out of the original 28 defendants, 13 had their cases separated from the group due to various procedural and logistical reasons, while 9 pleaded guilty. This group includes Young Thug's brother, Quantavious Greer, who performs as Unfunk, and Gunna, born Sergio Kitchens, a former popular collaborator of Young Thug's. Despite debate over whether his guilty plea constituted snitching, Gunna has resumed his commercial success while on probation, largely avoiding discussion of the case. Of the original defendants, 4 were already serving life sentences, and others had previous convictions for crimes listed as overt acts in the indictment, such as the Lil Wayne tour bus shooting in 2015, allegedly carried out by a YSL member named Jimmy Winfrey. Trial progression. Brian Steele, Young Thug's lawyer, refutes claims of YSL being a criminal street gang, emphasizing Thug's difficult upbringing and his conduct throughout life as admirable. Gunna, acknowledging his association with YSL, maintains his innocence despite entering a guilty plea, emphasizing his involvement purely on a musical level. Several defendants, including YSL co-founder Walter Murphy, entered guilty pleas, acknowledging YSL as both a music collective and a criminal street gang. The plea deals required cooperation with authorities and admissions of criminal activities. The trial, marked by delays and legal entanglements, continued despite hurdles. These hurdles were of a grave nature. Some of them include the stabbing of a defendant in jail in December 2024, attorney and judge illnesses, etc. Opening statements revealed the defense's argument, portraying Young Thug's persona and lyrics as reflective of religious convictions rather than gang affiliation. Yes, he speaks about 12 and people being shot and drive-by shootings. This is the environment that he grew up in. These are the people he knew. These are the stories he knew. These are the words that he rhymed. More so, Steele also claimed that his adoption of the name Thug is also misleading and being used against him in the trials. YSL, according to the defense, represented a luxury clothing brand because the tight-fitting pants they're wearing say YSL, Yves Saint Laurent, with songs like Push and P conveying messages of positivity. Brian Steele defended his stance, saying, "Truly humbled under God. That's what Thug means." Fani Willis, the district attorney overseeing the case, has equally challenging arguments in return. Willis is known for her past investigations, including scrutinizing potential election fraud in Georgia involving former President Trump.
It's the same crime that Donald Trump was charged with, and it's the same DA, Fani Willis, who is looking at this case.
Willis has emphasized her commitment to prosecuting crime in Fulton County time and again, stating that fame or notoriety won't shield individuals from legal consequences. It does not matter what your notoriety is or what your fame is. If you come to Fulton County, Georgia, you commit crimes, and certainly if those crimes are in furtherance of a street gang, then you are going to become a target and a focus of this district attorney's office, and we are going to prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. Rap lyrics have always served as evidence in the YSL case. Despite debates about their constitutionality, prosecutors cite multiple songs as evidence of gang affiliation and racketeering activity, following a trend of using rap lyrics in court cases involving hip-hop artists. Fulton County's approach continues to equate rap music with gang activity, a perspective criticized by Lance Williams, a professor at Northeastern Illinois University. Williams expressed concern over the use of RICO laws, originally intended for organized crime, being applied to young black males associated with hip-hop culture without evidence of criminal enterprise. He underscored the disproportionate impact of such legal tactics on the accused. When questioned about the proposed Georgia state bill aiming to limit the use of rap lyrics as evidence, District Attorney Fani Willis remained steadfast in her position, asserting her intention to use such lyrics in prosecutions. Willis dismissed the potential success of the legislation, emphasizing her strategy of leveraging lyrics as confessions of criminal activity. Despite ongoing debates, Willis remains resolute in her approach, while legislators at both the state and federal levels seek to address concerns surrounding the admissibility of rap lyrics in court proceedings. As the trial unfolded, additional complications arose, including the arrest of defense attorney Nicole Fegan on gang-related charges. The trial persevered, offering insights into the complexities of the case and its implications for the hip-hop community amid ongoing debates over artistic expression and legal scrutiny. Life behind bars. In May 2022, Thug's lawyer Brian Steele highlighted the inhumane conditions of Thug's confinement in an emergency motion, seeking bond, which was subsequently denied. Steele described Thug's detention as solitary confinement, devoid of basic amenities like access to media or human contact, in a windowless cement compartment with only a bed and toilet and an overhead light, which remains on 24 hours per day, preventing any sleep, rest, or meditation. Similarly, Gunna denounced poor jail conditions through an Instagram post, shedding light on the stark reality of incarceration. In June 2022, Young Thug addressed the public from jail, urging support for the Protect Black Art petition, co-written by industry figures Kevin Liles and Julie Greenwald. In a pre-recorded statement, he said, "I always use my music as a form of artistic expression, and I see now that black artists and rappers don't have that freedom. Everybody please sign the Protect Black Art petition and keep praying for us. I love you all." After 567 days in jail, Young Thug's trial commenced on November 27th, marked by debates over the criminal justice system's treatment of rappers. While Gunna secured release through an Alford plea, Young Thug remained incarcerated and denied bond due to concerns about witness intimidation and community safety. Allegations surfaced of a co-defendant attempting to pass drugs to Young Thug in court, adding complexity to the case. Throughout the proceedings, concerns about witness intimidation and safety have been raised, leading to the denial of bond for Thug and Gunna multiple times. The judge's decisions have been influenced by allegations of threats against witnesses and leaks of sensitive information, underscoring the challenges faced in ensuring a fair trial amidst heightened tensions and security risks. Pee Wee Roscoe, also known as Jimmy Carlton Winfrey, previously charged in connection with a shooting involving Lil Wayne's tour bus in 2015, is implicated in the YSL case. Although the original indictment listed Young Thug and Birdman as co-conspirators, they were never charged. The indictment names Roscoe, who served a 10-year prison sentence for the shooting incident before being released in 2020. Support from the music industry. The music industry has rallied behind Young Thug and Gunna, with prominent figures like Drake expressing support through his music and public statements. Drake's song, Sticky, references the case, while Mike emphasizes the importance of recognizing hip-hop as an art form deserving of respect. Fat Joe also opposed the use of Thug's music lyrics against him in court and said in an interview,
"That's horrible. It's a travesty I've been rapping professionally for 30 years. I've lied in almost 95% of my songs.
He further added, they know those lyrics ain't real. They know that's creativity, but if it helps their case, they'll use it to put these guys in jail. Fat Joe seemed especially concerned about the impact this trial could have on the lives of all the accused.
And here we're having a fun show about it and discussion, but there really is 6 defendants in Atlanta who might spend the rest of their life in jail for something that's totally not true.
300 Entertainment, the distributor behind Young Stoner Life Records, has actively supported Thug and Gunna, advocating for legislative changes to limit the admissibility of rap lyrics as evidence in court. They circulated the petition to protect black art and disseminated messages from Thug and Gunna to their audience. Gunna's bail. Gunna, once anticipated to remain incarcerated until his trial next year, was unexpectedly released on December 14, 2022, after entering a guilty plea through an Alford plea deal. Despite the plea, Gunna maintains his innocence, agreeing to testify if summoned to court while retaining the option to plead the fifth. While I have agreed to always be truthful, I want to make it perfectly clear that I have not made any statements, have not been interviewed, have not cooperated, have not agreed to testify or be a witness for or against any party in the case, and have absolutely no intention of being involved in the trial process in any way. Simultaneously, 7 additional defendants entered plea deals and were released, while 4 lacked legal representation during the trial, with 2 yet to be arrested. Presently, 6 defendants stand trial. Gunna's Alford plea does not constitute a confession to his alleged crimes, allowing him to maintain innocence while acknowledging the possibility of being found guilty if tried. Despite backlash within the hip-hop community, Gunna has asserted his loyalty to YSL and clarified that his plea only applies to his individual case. Fonnie Willis's association. Before her role as district attorney, Fonnie Willis represented YSL Mondo in a previous legal matter, highlighting her evolving relationship with individuals involved in the case. Willis's broad use of RICO charges reflects her prosecutorial approach, contrasting with her past legal representation of Mondo and others. With the jury selection process finally completed after nearly a year, the trial is anticipated to be one of Georgia's longest, reflecting the complexity and significance of the case. Over 2,000 potential jurors were summoned, underscoring the challenges of assembling a jury for such an extensive trial. Notably, Thug faced additional charges related to possession of drugs with intent to distribute and association with a criminal street gang. The trial did get delayed, but the date is nearing. Sooner or later, this chapter will reach its end. Whether the decision will be in favor of Young Thug or not still remains a mystery. Silver lining. Despite everything, the silver lining to all this mess is that Young Thug's love life seems to be getting stronger and stronger. It's almost like jail solidified our relationship, Mariah the scientist told Angela Yee. I'm willing to wait it out because I feel like he's the one. If I didn't really see that in him, I probably wouldn't. Additionally, no amount of legal troubles or criminal tendencies can take away Young Thug's talent, his vocals and music-making skills. He deserves credit where it is due. After all, not every black rap artist rose to fame from literal ashes.